Across the Border. That's Chris Aaron Band. So you can check out the short. The cards tell it all. If you read the cards, look up the lyrics, and then listen to the energy from the music, it will tell you a lot. Okay, we got two decks here. In Astro last night, we just basically were doing that individual upgrade rusting. The word rust came up a lot. Rust was real, eternal, supernatural togetherness. Something like that. It was an acronym that we were using, and it was just telling everybody to rest, really rest in your individual upgrades. Because when I left the video yesterday, I said, what are we waiting for? And I said, the next thing we're waiting for is what to do next. Okay, that's the only thing you should be waiting for. You shouldn't be waiting for money. You shouldn't be waiting for a partner. You shouldn't be really waiting for anything in 4D. You should be waiting for your next assignment. Now, you already got your travel papers from Christopher, and Across the Borders is very significant because he told me to tell you that most people are going to be leaving their residence. And I'm saying almost all of you, if not all of you watching, are going to be moving on this next assignment. And it's going to cross your border. You know, it's like, what happens if you have to go to Europe and you've never been to Europe and you're scared to death to go to Europe? And you have to do your homework. You can't just sell everything and go tomorrow. So all I'm telling you is that Across the Border is very significant. The song is very significant. The energy is more bluesy rock than hard rock or country. It's more bluesy. So they want you to listen to that energy and really let it go and rest, and let these traveling papers come into your cell memory so that you can bring it out into the physical. Because with or without a partner, with or without money, people are going to be moving. And as I told you, if you're not going to listen, then the universe will make it happen. Your house will burn down. It'll flood out. It will be tornadoed. It will be, your job will make you move. There's all different ways the universe works. So just get ready to cross the border, okay? Now, randomly at the bottom of the deck, we have the Death card. So that's a transition card, right? That's an ending and a new beginning. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what's happening. That's why in Astro last night, we were doing the rest mode. We had no classes. I kept my appointments. That's how we got into talking about the acronym of rest. And then the Eternals is a movie from the Matrix, from Marvel. Well, yeah, it's in the Matrix. It's on your TV, but it's a Marvel movie. And it's a really good movie to watch. It's called The Eternals. And then I just watched Cloud Atlas again. And Cloud Atlas I watched in 2012 when it came out, and I really liked it. I went to the theater with my mission partner, and he did not like it, and I loved it because it's all about reincarnation, basically. It's about how you're one soul in many different physical avatars. That's why when you meet somebody, Cloud Atlas is really good for this explanation. When you meet somebody and their eyes and your feel just connect, it's like, I've known you before. Right, that's that soul recognition. And then with the Marvel movies, it just goes deeper. It goes into where they show you what powers you had. So if you guys can watch Cloud Atlas and watch the Eternals Marvel movie, I think you are going to get so much of what I'm trying to say here, is that we're one physical body over and over and over again. We're one soul in many physical bodies. One soul in many physical bodies. And that's what we're trying to bring out from our DNA activations right now. We're bringing that out so that we can say, hey, I got a mission here. And that's why Cloud Atlas and the Eternals, both of them movies, are so important, because they explain that. They explain, we have a mission to do here. We were dumbed down so long, we didn't know. And both of them movies showed you how we were dumbed down. Then they showed you how we woke up. And then they showed you what we have to do. Okay? I remember the one guy, he was in a slave, he owned a slave community back in the day, right? And he left that to be an abolitionist, okay? That's the opposite. That's freeing of the slaves. You know, there was, when I went to it in 2012, I was a waitress. And there's a really big story about waitresses. And then it reminded me of the movie Solvent Green, how they tried to poison us with human meat. And that was in Cloud Atlas. So you just got to check out them two movies. They're just awesome. And I've seen them before, but I just love watching them. And this time when I watched Cloud Atlas, it's 13 years later, right? 2012 to 2025. And I didn't remember 3/4 of it. So, okay, very good. Enough of me yakking. We've got Privileged Lady on the bottom of the deck and Love Potion. So what I'm getting here is somebody really wants their divine partner, and they're doing anything and everything they can to get that person. And I think that's fine. I don't see nothing wrong with that. But the point is that it's all orchestrated. Just like if you watch Cloud Atlas, these people got put together from the universe over and over and over again. So you don't really have to try that hard. You just have to be open to meeting people, going with the flow, and then knowing when to cut them off. Like, I'll give you an example. The latest person I just found was a great guy. I told you about him. He was a mission partner for a short time to get me to my next level. And we went to some movies together, and he helped me clean out my shed, right? Christian was his name. And that's great, but you have to know when to hold him and you have to know when to fold him. And he's not my Hierophant. So I'm not going to stay with a page or a knight or even a king, even an emperor, right? I'm not going to stay on a lower level at this stage in my life, because I am the privileged lady, I am the empress, and I want my Hierophant. So I could be watching football right now, and I could be going to movies and playing outside, right? But that's not what I wanted to do. I don't want pages and knights and kings, okay? And that's what I'm getting here. I'm getting here that a lot of you are trying to get this privileged lady, but you're not even close to her range. A good song is Kid Rock, The Mirror. I've mentioned this many, many times years ago, so you can look on the playlist. It's all over my early playlist. The song made me cry because that's the energy of your twin or your divine partner not on your level. So The Mirror by Kid Rock. And that's the energy of this Love Potion and this Privileged Lady card. Okay, then we have dance like nobody's watching and everybody is watching, because that energy keeps it flowing. Okay, that lets the universe bring in some options for you. Some of you still have to go through some tests like I had to. I could have failed the test and fell backwards and be watching football right now instead of doing my tarot, right? But I didn't, because I'm waiting for my Hierophant, and he is going to be like I am. He's my whole of the other half. So he will probably be a tarot reader. He will be into music. He will look and act like me. We won't have to sit here and explain things. He will know my station. He will know my story. I will know his station. I will know his story, right? I don't have to sit here and say, oh, this is me and this is my life and this is my past life, because that's not something I want either. And that again is lower. We want our whole of our other half. We're done being hurt. We're done explaining. Otherwise, we'll all just do this rest of this mission single. And you know that feeling. You know that feeling of, you know what? I just do this fucking thing alone. I'm not worried about it. I got this far. So that's good. That's the energy we're in right now. We're just in that rest energy. I like the word rest better than waiting. But we are waiting. Okay, top of the deck, we've got the trickster energy and the Empress. And why did the trickster and the Empress come out? Because the tricksters don't want what I just said. They would rather send in the clowns. They would rather send in the lower vibed people for you to tempt you. And like in Cloud Atlas, they tried to kill the chosen ones a lot. And I think they did it in the Eternals too. There's always that theme of the bad guys trying to take out the good guys because they know the good guys have a mission, and they know in the end that the good guys win and slavery gets abolished and the evil cabal goes down, and we're the ones to make it happen. So there's always going to be that trickster coming in for that Empress. Okay? But you have ancestral protection. So you're being divinely protected. And if you watch the movies too, you'll see that they had divine protection. They could have never survived. Never survived. They couldn't have. But you'll see how they get divinely intercepted, divinely protected. Okay? Now, the other deck we have, the star is randomly at the bottom. This is a Light Seer deck. This was a divinely guided deck by Angel. This is the star at the bottom of the deck of the Light Seers, and it's talking about your destiny. Well, what did we just do? We just talked this whole time about your destiny, right? Okay, so we're at the rest moment. We're not going to settle for less. Now, what happens if you settle for less? Okay, what's going to happen if you settle for less is you're probably just going to slide back into a lower timeline. Okay, it's really simple as that. The analogy I gave you about playing football or watching football, drinking beer, and going to movies is a great example of where I could be right now. Is that a bad place? No. I'm not saying any of it was bad. It's just a lower level than I'm on. I'm not on the same level of the Matrix. So therefore, if I choose to be with people that are on that level, that's fine, but I'm just going to a lower level, and it's just going to take me longer to finish my mission because I have to learn some lessons. That's not the case with me, okay? The case with me, I had to go through some tests because they're giving me free will. I get free will. Just like right now, if somebody came over and said, you want to go for a date, okay, you go on the date, but while you go on that date, you find out that that person doesn't know one thing about your past, doesn't know one thing about your channel, knows a lot about basketball, knows a lot about his job, maybe even knows a lot about cars. Well, who cares? That's not the level that you're on. So it's like, okay, this was fun, but I ain't doing this every day. I'll stay single before I go do this every day because I don't want to go backwards. So I'm giving you these examples because they are going to come into your life, especially with that trickster energy with the Empress. They're definitely going to send you people your way and try to get you to go backwards. However it is for you. I just gave you that example for me because that's about the only way. You know, the only way I can go backwards is if I lower myself and have to start explaining who I am to someone and then start doing things that I used to do that I don't do no more. That's lowering myself. That's going backwards. I want to go forward and up. So they have to be the whole of me, the other whole of me. And if they're not, they have to be pretty damn close, right? Okay, because it still can be a soulmate or a mission partner. It doesn't have to be my twin because maybe he doesn't want a physical body, but it has to be somebody that is damn close. I'm not explaining myself. I'm not lowering myself. So that's the energy we have in this rest and waiting period. That's why I'm talking so much about it, because I want you guys to understand where we're at. And yesterday when I left off with that question, what are we waiting for? A lot of you probably didn't get that answer. You got more materialistic answers, and I don't want that. Okay, so we got the Knight of Pentacles. That's the perfect energy because he's walking alongside of the horse with all of the different options. He's a knight, he's in action, but he's walking next to the horse because we're in that resting, waiting period. We're not in a hurry. We'd rather walk alone than be with somebody that's going to bring us backwards. Whether they're nice or not doesn't matter. Okay, whether they're rich and beautiful and handsome and charismatic or not, it doesn't matter. We're talking soul level end of this contract. Queen of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is walking and waiting, everything I just said, to the Queen of Pentacles. You're the Queen of Pentacles energy. You're the Empress energy. You're the energy that says, I will do this alone unless they can pull their head out of their ass and come to me on my level. That's why I said The Mirror by Kid Rock is a great song to check out if you want to know that energy. That song says it exactly. I'd like to make a sequel of it. When the two twins get together, I would love to make a sequel of that song. Okay, and then we have the Six of Pentacles, which is exactly what I said when I said I would love to make a sequel of that. The Six of Pentacles is equal give and take. So that's when the two rise above and can meet each other at that level of the same thought. One's not into football and money, and the other's into tarot and astro. They're on the same level, meaning he came up to that level and they can go together. They can be in astro, they can be in 4D, and it's the same. Right now they're just 5D and higher. So equal give and take. And then the top of the deck, that's the girl sitting there like this. And that's what we got to do. We got to rest. We got to wait. 4 of Cups. It's what we got to do, or we got to do it alone. And we can do it alone. The soul contracts, when you make them, remember I said we had to rewrite the soul contracts last year because of the fact that people didn't live up to the soul contract that we wrote? Well, this is the same thing. You're sitting here going, well, If that person can't get their head out of their ass, they're good in 5D and higher, but if they can't get their head out of their ass in 4D, well, then I'll just do it alone. Okay? That attitude is good. That's the Four of Cups attitude. And after that's the King of Cups. So again, if that king can't get his head out of his ass and get up onto that level, meaning they have to bring their 5D into 4D, okay? Not stay in 3 and 4D. A lot of them want to stay in 3 and 4D. That's football, drinking. It is, okay? We want the 5D into the 4D. Otherwise, we'll do it alone. And that's the Seven of Swords after the King of Cups. That's that mild double energy of just what I'd said. Every single card backed up everything I just said, okay? The Seven of Swords energy, the mild double energy, is that energy of football and alcohol overrule his 5D level. We're not playing football and drinking beer in 5D. So that's why I'm using it for an example, okay? It's a great example. There's other examples, money, jobs, there's many, family, there's many other examples, but it's the stuff we don't do in 5D and higher, you're doing in 4D and 3D, and you're not letting it go, so you're staying at this level. Where the privileged lady, the Empress, is up here waiting for this person to get their head out of their ass and get to this level. And if they're not going to do it, then they're going to do it alone. Everybody will do it alone. So that's the exact energy we're at right now. And the last card out is the Six of Cups. Got to get rid of that past. You're no longer the guy with the puppy. You're the big man with the big dog. And you need to let the little boy go. You need to let the football go, the playing with cars go. All that stuff's got to go. Does that mean that you have to get rid of your nice car and you can never watch a football game? No. And you know that's not what I mean. What I mean is what's running your show. Is it cars and football and drinking? Or is it just something you do here and there if you went to somebody's house for the night? Okay, so I think I talked enough on that. I think you understand. We do have to cross that border. We do have to move soon. And when I said yesterday that this is minutes, not years, not months, I mean that. So many of us may be doing this alone. And if it comes to that, fine. We can do it. We've got this far alone. All right. I am Miss Mystic. Thank you for listening.